Welcome to 72 Dragons. Today, we are delighted to introduce you to Alistair Ward, an incredible gifted individual who has achieved remarkable success as an actor, writer, and director. Alistair Ward made his notable debut at the 2019 Melbourne Film Festival with his captivating play, 20-something. He wrote, directed, and starred in this autobiographical piece, which delved into the challenges of navigating a queer ghosting world as a young adult. 20-something garnered Alistair the prestigious People's Choice Award. In 2021, he established Pansy Productions, a Melbourne-based production company led by the queer community. In early 2022, he premiered his second original play, Drama School, which he wrote, directed, and starred in, drawing sold-out audiences. Very impressive. Welcome to this interview, Alistair. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you with us today. My name is Dr. Pietro Aparicio from 72 Dragons. We appreciate your generous contribution in the world of filmmaking, and thank you for sharing your experience with our audience today. Alistair, you are an actor, writer, and director. Please share with our audience about your journey in the film industry and what took you into this path.
For me, the journey has been a long one. I've definitely been a part of the artistic community for at least a decade. As a teenager, it was definitely something I knew I needed to be a part of, and I would find, especially in theatre, I would find any avenue I could to be a part of this community. And then as I've grown into it from my late teens, I definitely did different, anything I could to be a part of film or theatre in Melbourne and in Sydney in Australia. And then at 18, I auditioned for the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. And that's when I moved to New York at 18, and I lived there for 3 years. And that changed everything for me in so many ways. Because it allowed me the space to grow as a human being, as I do think everyone should go to drama school, everyone should study or experience drama or theatre in a form, just because you learn about yourself as a person. And that really propelled me in so many ways for what I wanted to do. And then I followed that up a few years later with moving to London, where I did a lot of film work. And then it's led me to writing my own plays, and now I'm writing a pilot for a TV show, a short film, my next play as well. I've put on 3 plays so far. And I think it was the ability to express myself, the ability to be creative. I feel most alive when I'm on the stage or in front of the camera. I think it's a beautiful blessing to be able to express yourself, be another character, explore empathy through other people. And I think that's a real gift that artists are given in any form, to be able to express themselves and the journey of living through this art form. And that definitely led me to creating my own production company and really expressing my own stories and my own writing through that form, for sure.
It's a very exciting journey. So, and congratulations on winning the People's Choice Award for 20-something. How do you feel knowing that your work resonated so strongly with the audience? How has this recognition impacted your career and your artistic growth?
That was a huge moment for me. I've been lucky enough. I won an award when I graduated drama school in New York. I always was lucky enough at school to win different awards, but to get something like that was pretty huge, because it really spoke to me that the audience for my first play had really seen themselves. And I heard that from a lot of people in the audience, that even if people who had never lived a queer experience, people of all different genders or experiences of life, really saw themselves in the characters I portrayed and that I brought with the 3 actors on stage. And so that was a really beautiful way to be, but it was also very humbling because I remember thinking when I won the People's Choice Award, I remember thinking, wow, this is my first play. I've done so well. I'm so proud of myself. But I knew that the next day I was going to go to work. I was going to go to my side job, my survival job at the time, where I worked with kids. And I was going to get, and none of the kids would know I just won this big award and one of the biggest in Melbourne's theatre scene. So I was very lucky to be able to be humbled by it. And also knowing how hard everybody works in that space and being able to do what they need to do. So I think that was really important. And then I think at the same time, it was a great platform, a jumping platform for me in that capacity, because it really gave me the strength and the foresight to go, all right, I can do this again. So I can put on a play. I've written a play, of course, it was my first play, so such a journey. But then it's given me the pride or the whatever to or the confidence to be able to write more plays. So obviously now I definitely call myself a writer as well as being a multi-hyphenated artist, director, writer, producer, actor. And in that capacity, I've now written 3 plays, writing my 4th, as I said. And branching out in the form of writing. But it gave me a lot of confidence in my own abilities and the ability to create opportunities for other people. So other artists, other art forms, bringing people in to be a part of a play and to act and to be on stage, and obviously moving forward to be on screen and behind the scenes as well. Really, that was one of the biggest things, especially creating a production company as well, was being able to create opportunities for other people.
That sounds fantastic. And as someone who is part of the LGBTQ plus community, how important it is for you to have a queer-led production company, and how do you prioritize LGBTQ plus representation in the form of stories or in characters in your work?
Well, I think as a queer person myself, it's non-negotiable, I think, at this point. My experiences as a gay person and as a gay man and in the queer community. So when I write characters, they're generally always multifaceted in that capacity. I want to show the queer experience, at least from the way I've lived it. And then also being in the community, I get to see different forms of that expression. And so in all of my writing and all of even my artistic pursuits as an actor in other people's work, I always explore my character's gender or their sexuality, even if they're a straight cis man. I still think, okay, well, what does that mean for them? How do they express themselves in that way? And then I'm lucky enough as a writer to be able to create characters that do have a queer experience. And in most of my shows, nearly actually all of my shows, every character has always had some capacity in their queerness. I think I've only written a couple of straight characters, but even in my second play, Drama School, it naturally happened that 2 of the characters I hadn't written specifically as queer, but then through the journey of directing and through the journey of the story, the characters became more queer based on the way the actors brought the story to life. And in my 3rd play, This Moment in Time, which was on last December, the other character, who was someone I went to drama school with as well, her character's partner used they, them pronouns, but we never talked about what that meant for them. It was just a normalized thing of using they, them pronouns, because I thought, no, let's normalize this. And at the same time, I've been very blessed to know a lot of straight men and straight women and straight people who express themselves in a new way, in a bold way in the world we live in now. And I also like to show their experience. I like to show what it can look like for a new age man, a new age woman who are comfortable in their heterosexuality, but have elevated to a beautiful space. I like to try and show all of that. And at the same time, when it comes to my plays behind the scenes, I make sure that our directors in the new shows, the people who are working in the behind the scenes, are also feel represented. So it's across the board, not just on stage or not just in front of the screen.
That sounds like very inspiring work. How did the birth of Pansy Productions come about? And what motivated you to start your own production company?
I think it was because I put on my first play in 2019, 20 something, and it was during COVID actually that I realized and I thought about it for a long time, I wanted more control over my own career as an artist and an actor, especially. You spend a lot of time hoping someone will give you a job and give you a role and something gritty and whatnot. And I realized if I wanted the work, I had to create it myself. And I knew that with a production company that would create a space to give opportunities to other people and allow more work to be had under that umbrella. And so Pansy Productions, it's Pansy obviously was once a gay slur and is also the flower. And I thought, how can I reappropriate that for my story? How can the names I was called as a kid, use that and empower myself in that? And that's how Pansy Productions came to be. And for me, it is so powerful because the first time, as soon as you hear it, it's queer, it's bold, it's pink, it's my favorite color. And so that was really important to me. I really wanted that to be a massive part of it and a normalized part of the production company. And I think moving forward, it's allowed me to have that umbrella of my different works coming through, and then also knowing where I want to go in the future, which I love.
It's exciting to hear how you got the name from.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for your career and for Pansy Production in the coming years? Is there a specific project or milestone you hope to achieve in the near future?
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely someone who's always giving myself new goals, and I definitely want to raise the bar for myself. And I think especially at the moment, I'm looking at for the production company and myself in a lot of ways. I'm looking at how to go from the independent space to an even more professional space, to creating, bringing the level up on the shows I produce, and really bigger audiences. Bigger staging. That's where I'm headed when it comes to Pansy Productions. I think in the future, I love the idea of being able to mentor emerging artists, people who want the opportunities that I always sought out and found with different places, different people. I've been very blessed in that way. So I want to be able to create that for other people. I want to be able to bring in new writers and say, under the Pansy Production umbrella, how can we produce your play? How can we bring that forward, as same as the artists, the actors, and young directors or emerging directors. And I think for myself, it's that same thing. Now I'm really coming into a place where I'm allowing my acting to fuel my production company. So the jobs I'm getting through acting really kind of support my production company and lifting it up. And I'm myself looking at bigger roles, media roles, things that really challenge me as an actor and as an artist and really push me to want to work even harder. And now I'm thinking, all right, I've got my next play ready to go. I know what it is. I have a lot of ideas. So it's how do I choose one idea at a time, pick that, focus on that, and bring that to fruition, and then go to another. But I've probably got 3 or 4 different projects happening in my head, happening on my laptop as I go. And it's just going, all right, today is this one, tomorrow is this one. But I'm also trying to I'm trying to get better at deadlines, actually. I'm trying to say, all right, by next second week, whatever, this script needs to be done. So I think for me, it's that space. But I'll definitely be putting on more work in the coming year.
But thank you for sharing what's coming up in the future for you. So, Alistair, thank you so much for interviewing for 72 Dragons. I'm sure your experiences will guide and inspire filmmakers out there who are listening to this interview.
Thank you so much.
We wish you the best on all the future projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.